I found the folder at 2:17 a.m. Not because I was looking for it. Because she forgot to close her laptop. The screen had dimmed to a ghostly blue, but the document was still open. A shared drive. A neat header. Project Liberation, removing him. Him. There was a bulleted timeline beneath it. Phase 1, financial isolation. Phase 2, psychological destabilization. Phase 3, legal extraction. My name wasn't written anywhere. It didn't have to be. I stood there in the dark kitchen. Refrigerator humming behind me. And read the notes from her family. Meeting like they were. Planning a corporate retreat. Except the objective was my erasure. She'll initiate conflict about money, one line read. We document instability. Another. Encourage him to react emotionally. Record everything. My pulse slowed. Not raced. Slowed. From the bedroom, I heard her shift under the covers. A soft exhale. Peaceful. Trusting. I closed the laptop gently. Then I went back to bed and wrapped an arm around her. She murmured, half asleep. You okay? Yes, I said. And I meant it. Because clarity is a form of peace. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was architectural. Every moment from the past year rearranged itself in my mind like furniture. In a crime scene. The sudden insistence that I consolidate our accounts. Her suggestion that we refinance the house, for flexibility. Her mother's frequent visits. Too frequent. I had mistaken it for concern. Family closeness. But now I saw the rehearsals. The way she would provoke small arguments and then watch me. Not with anger. With evaluation. I remembered the night she accused me of being controlling. Because I asked about a $12,000 transfer. She cried. Not messy crying. Precise crying. And I apologized. God. I apologized. The document wasn't just strategy. It was minutes from meetings. Dates. Action items. Assignments. Her brother was tasked with recommending an attorney. Her father would advise on asset positioning. They had diagrams. Flowcharts. I read the final line 3 times. Target emotional fatigue. He'll concede if isolated. Target. Like I was a campaign. Or prey. The strangest part wasn't the rage. It was the humiliation. I had loved her openly. While she loved me conditionally. With witnesses. I didn't confront her. That would have been phase 0 in their playbook. Instead, I began my own. Silently. The next morning, I kissed her goodbye and went to work. At lunch, I opened a private account at a different bank. Only my name. Different institution. No paper statements. I transferred small amounts at first. Nothing dramatic. Just enough to look like routine expenditures. Over the next 2 weeks, I reviewed every document we had signed in the past 3 years. Insurance policies. Property deeds. Beneficiary forms. She had recently updated her life insurance. I was no longer primary. Her mother was. Interesting. I scheduled a meeting with an attorney recommended by no one she knew. I didn't speak emotionally. I presented evidence. The folder. The screenshots. The timeline. The attorney leaned back in his chair and said, "You're ahead of them." I nodded. I intend to stay that way. I adjusted direct deposits. Redirected consulting income she didn't monitor. Closed a joint investment account under the pretense of market instability. And moved the funds into a trust she had never heard of. I documented everything. Every text she sent attempting to bait me. Every sudden accusation. Every time she tried to start a fight when her phone was angled. Just slightly too high. Recording. They wanted instability. I gave them tranquility. She grew impatient. Phase 1 required friction. I gave her calm. It unsettled her. The major shift came 3 weeks later. She sat across from me at dinner, wine glass untouched. "We need to talk about our finances," she said carefully. There it was. Phase 1. I folded my napkin. "Okay." She outlined concerns. Claimed discrepancies. Suggested I had been secretive. Her words were almost identical to the bullet points. I let her finish. Then I reached into my briefcase and placed a thin folder on the table between us. Not slammed. Placed. She frowned. "What's this?" "Meeting notes," I said. Her fingers hesitated before touching it. When she saw the title, the color drained from her face in real time. I watched comprehension fracture her composure. "You went through my computer." "No," I said evenly. "You left it open." She flipped pages faster. Her breathing changed. "You don't understand." "I understand completely." Her eyes darted, calculating which narrative to deploy. Tears attempted entry. They didn't land. I slid another document toward her. Legal letterhead. Filed that morning. Petition for separation. Asset protection order already in motion. Accounts frozen, strategically, not destructively. "You can't." I already did. The silence that followed wasn't explosive. It was vacuum. She looked smaller. Not because I raised my voice, but because she realized I had never lost control. The confrontation they planned never happened. No shouting. No shattered glass. Just math. Her family called that night. I let it go to voicemail. They tried again. And again. Eventually her father arrived at the house unannounced. I opened the door before he could knock twice. His posture carried authority. Until he saw my expression. Cold. Informed. Prepared. "We need to discuss this misunderstanding," he began. "There isn't one." I handed him copies. Highlighted sections. Timestamps. He skimmed. His jaw tightened. "You've escalated this unnecessarily." "No," I replied. "You did." I simply finished it. Behind him, she stood on the walkway, arms folded around herself. For the first time since I'd known her, she looked uncertain. They had expected confusion. Desperation. Instead, they were facing documentation. And foresight. "You moved the funds," she said quietly. "Yes. All of them. The ones you were planning to take." The air between us felt surgical. Clean. Final. Her mother's voice cracked from the driveway. "This doesn't have to be ugly." "It doesn't," I said. "It just has to be over." I stepped back inside and closed the door gently. No slam. Just a boundary. The house feels different now. Quieter. As if it understands ownership has shifted, not legally. Not yet, but psychologically. I walk through rooms we designed together and feel no nostalgia. Only recognition. I was not loved. I was managed. There's a difference. The separation will finalize in months. The trust protects what I built before her. The recordings protect what I built after. They underestimated one thing. I don't react. I observe. She wanted liberation. She has it. From the security I provided. From the access she curated. From me. Sometimes I think about that first night. 2:17 a.m., and how easily I could have exploded. How simple it would have been to scream. Instead, I executed. Quietly. Completely. She tried to remove me from my own life. All she succeeded in doing was removing herself from it. And I have never felt more in control.